Deputy Donnelly.
Thank you, Cahirlock. The legislation before the House this morning seeks to put a referendum to the Irish people to lower the age of eligibility for election to the office of President, and I will be supporting the bill and will be supporting a yes vote in the referendum. The Constitution sets the minimum age of eligibility for a person to run for President in the Republic at 35. And De Valera, when he was explaining this, stated that such a person would need to be able to exercise wise discretion. It would appear De Valera took this from the Weimar Republic rules, including others. And while age may bring experience, I think the goings-on in this House over the last number of years provide categoric proof that being over 35 years of age does not necessarily imbue one with the ability to exercise wise discretion. The referendum will seek to lower the voting age to 21, in line with the Dáil. And I believe it should go further. I believe, Minister, it should go to 18 years of age. And I believe that the Constitutional Convention recommended that the age of eligibility for Dáil election be reduced from 21 to 18, as it is for the local elections. So I would like to see this amended before this legislation is fully passed. I don't understand the rationale for 18 versus 21. This is a democratic process, and it is up to the people of Ireland to decide who they want. And if they believe a 19-year-old is wise enough and a 50-year-old or a 70-year-old is not wise enough, then surely it is up to the candidates to put those positions to the people. However, a move from 35 to 21 is a significant move, at least in age-wise, in the right direction. And as such, it is something that I will be supporting. My problem, Minister, is not so much with this bill, but it's with what this bill is coming ahead of. This government, we now know, has heavily controlling instincts. It consolidates power, it centralises power. It's locked Parliament out of decision-making. It's locked its own backbenchers out of decision-making. It's locked policy professionals out of decision-making. We have a maniacal control of the whip, which I'm told by people who've been observing parliaments for many years, is at an unprecedented level of control. We have the Economic Management Council, which of course has never existed before centralising key decision-making in the country. We have an almost absolute refusal of the executive to accept amendments tabled by members of this House to legislation, and in so doing rendering the national legislature completely irrelevant. Democracy in Ireland now, national democracy, is a vote once every 5 years, a selection of a top team, and then that top team just gets on with it. We had the ridiculous situation where the Taoiseach stuffed the banking inquiry with loyalists after due process of the House, essentially overthrowing it, and then being so comfortable with that not only did he stuff the banking inquiry with loyalists, he came in here and explained to us that the reason he did it was so that he could control the independent parliamentary inquiry. One thing that this government has done, to its credit, in the face of this really, really damaging and unhealthy centralisation of power and control freakery, was the Constitutional Convention. I think it was a good idea. I think it sounds like it was very well run, and I think we should have more of them. And it should be congratulated for doing that. The pity, though, is that the legislation before the House and the referendum to reduce the voting age of the President has taken priority over some other issues. My understanding is that the Convention recommended making the Constitution gender neutral. Now, we have one of the least gender-balanced parliaments on earth. We're behind Afghanistan. I think the last time I looked, we were 88th in the world. Now, making the Constitution gender neutral would be a very strong signal that actually Parliament and politics in Ireland is beginning to move on and beginning to modernise, beginning to progress. I believe the Constitutional Convention suggested lowering the age of eligibility for the Dáil from 21 to 18, which is something I think would be very useful. And then one which I've tabled legislation on myself, Minister, is around removing the offence of blasphemy from the Constitution, something that is not only preposterous in a modern society, but which is being used right up to this very day to quell dissent in ways which I don't think anyone who believes in freedom of speech should be happy with. And so there were a lot of other options for this referendum. If we have a very limited time and opportunity to get people to change the Constitution, whilst the first question, which is around equal marriage, is critically important, the second one, I believe, should not have been prioritised over some of the other issues. And so I will reiterate that whilst I believe this legislation and this referendum is a missed opportunity, it is a small move in the right direction and will be supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Donnelly.